My question on these flexible bills that you just spoke about and sending it to the states is living in Washington State, which is one of the worst. And I know we can only change it through election, and there is a big force going on in Washington State that probably will never show on the national level or where you are, is that when you send these guys money, how does it help us? I mean, without it going to the individuals or perhaps the schools directly, I just see more money going to people who will misspend it, and they're not trustworthy. So can you help me with that?
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea here is with vouchers specifically, is to get the money either directly to the schools so some states you've got to get the money right to the schools, but they're flagged for a specific student. In other states, the more broader states with vouchers, the money goes right to the families to utilize, Stan. And that's what we advocate is the best school choice program, because the broadest, and it's the one that gives the most flexibility to parents, especially those in need. So they don't have to worry about tax credits and refunds and this and that. The money just goes right to them so they can spend it on their children's education. Kids should come first, teachers second. Teachers play a very key role, but our America's children come first. Teachers and schools and their budgets and unions, they should come second. Kids first. Dan?
Yeah, and the frustration that we heard from Michelle right there, Jordan, that is something we've heard echoed all across the country, because typically what happens is when federal dollars do flow, people like Michelle and people who need it never do see those dollars because they go to school districts with a lot of federal strings attached. Jordan, it's not always the school district's fault. Sometimes it's the federal requirements that are put in place that just don't match the needs of the community. So to your point about vouchers, Jordan, the program with flexibility that I really like the best, and the one that we've advocated be attached to the coronavirus stimulus bills, is the one that actually gives the money to qualified scholarship granting institutions, and then people like Michelle and others who might want to access those dollars actually apply, and that gives those scholarship granting institutions outside of the government, Jordan, the ability to ascertain who needs those dollars best, which students need those dollars best, not school districts, not programs, but which students need those dollars most. They compete for them, and that allows them to stretch and go the farthest and actually meet the needs of real students the most. Jordan, we're never going to advocate for the federal government to take over education for exactly the reasons that Michelle articulated. If you pull that control farther and farther away from the people, it will meet the needs of the people less and less. So she might have some frustrations at her state level, but I would tell you, Jordan, her biggest opportunity to impact change in this space is at that local school board level. That's why we want to push as many of those dollars to that level as possible, because, Jordan, those people are going to be responsible to the people in their community because they want to keep their seats. We want the dollars there so that they're most accountable to people like Michelle.